So on behalf of the Independence Chamber of Commerce in the City of Independence, welcome to First Friday. We're all glad you're here. The first thing we want to do is thank our business sponsor this morning, Jim Hayward Fine Art. Jim is the one who paid for breakfast from Annie Mae's. So at this time, would you please welcome the owner of an amazing art gallery in downtown Independence, a very generous supporter of the Chamber, Main Street, and for the entire city, the very talented Jim Hayward.
Thank you, Lisa. I would be remiss if I didn't thank all the members, the team at the Chamber. We've got Lisa, Mandy, and Courtney. I'm always blown away by the way events are organized, and they do such a fabulous job. Let's give them a hand. We started Jim Hayward Fine Art about a year ago. In fact, a year and 2 months ago, we opened our doors, and it's a labor of love for me. I enjoy painting. I enjoy building things, and the gallery is kind of a life dream for me. So we're very happy to be here in Independence. We've learned a couple of things since we've been here. Our customers have become our friends, and our neighbors, the other retailers, are also our friends. And it's very unusual to live in a city that has such great people. I can't say enough about that. Anyway, my work at the gallery is basically in three media. Three basic media. The first one is sculpture or three-dimensional work. This is a piece made from a wagon wheel and some other various pieces of wood. It's called Truth Half Spoken. The second medium I work in is collage, and this is an example of an abstract or a non-representational collage. The third medium is painting, and this is an example of an abstract painting. Of course, this is a representational painting. So basically we have three media, and I work both representationally and in the abstract. I have to mention that Rhonda is not here today. Those of you who know Rhonda, she has a 5-month-old granddaughter in Wichita who was in desperate need of a babysitter today. So that's where she is. I want to mention two upcoming events. Main Street and Astra Arts Festival are sponsoring an art walk coming up on September 9th. And there will be an auction, and I've been asked to be one of the artists who is participating in that auction. So you may buy one of my pieces at that auction. And I'll give you a hint, it's themed. It's a Neowalla theme, so it's at the gallery now, but it's supposed to be displayed somewhere publicly here before long. The other event that's coming up, and I'm really excited about this, if you don't know the work of photographer Susan Stevenson, who lives here in Independence, you've got to see her work. It's beautiful. And she will be showing at Jim Hayward Fine Art. Let's see, October 5th through Neowalla. So please come in and see her work. You won't be disappointed. The other thing that I want to mention is I have work for sale in the gallery, but I also do custom work or commission work. So if you have something in mind that you want painted or built, please see me. The other thing is there are some flyers on the tables. Please feel free to take one. They kind of explain the gallery and our concept. And with that, I will turn it back over to Lisa.
Thank you. We appreciate your support this morning, but we more importantly appreciate your existence in downtown Independence. We're very fortunate to have such an amazing art gallery. In fact, we have a couple now, don't we? We're just growing all over the place. So, First Friday, as you all know, there might be some new people in the room, so I'll go ahead and say this, is co-sponsored by the City of Independence as a way to share information. We want to make sure that everybody is well informed with good, accurate information and that you're well armed when you leave here to go out and share that with the community. So we speak to roughly about 100 people once a month, and then it's televised as well so that everybody in the community that's not able to make it because of schedules or such are able to watch that on TV as well. So again, I appreciate the support of the city being able to allow us to get this information out, and we always have lots of good eclectic mixes of speakers every month, and we have 4 amazing speakers lined up this morning that are going to share lots of information with you, but we have some information we want to share before we get started. So as always, everybody knows the drill, so turn over your programs and let's go through this. But you're going to see that, which someone has already pointed out, you only get 1 month of information this time, and that's because we had both months ready, but if we were to have squeezed all of it in here on one page, you would have needed a magnifying glass to see it, because September is pumped full of information and October is pumped full of activities and information. So what we'll do is we're going to give you September right now, and then we'll be flashing out September and October, so you can get that off of our website and our Facebook page and on your email flashes. So just watch for that. It'll come next week, and you'll have both months, and you can be well prepared for the next 60 days ahead. So let me tell you a few things that are happening in the community. I have some visual aids up here to get us started. So you may or you may not know that the reporter is working with the Parsons Morning Sun, is that right? Or Pittsburgh Morning Sun, yes. And in a kind of a friendly competition, but the ultimate goal is that both communities raise a lot of supplies to be able to take to the victims of Hurricane Harvey. And so there is a truck parked out in front of the Daily Reporter until I think 7 o'clock this evening. And we are working to fill that up. And so some of the things that they're needing are, I brought a big box of diapers down here on the floor for obvious reasons. They're needing things like that, toiletries, shampoo, laundry soap, all kinds of things. If you can imagine if your house was, 4 or 5 feet deep in water, what kind of things would you need? Those are the things that the people of Texas need. So let's be generous, as we always are, and help them fill the truck. And if you have any questions about that, you can ask Josh after the event is over. We also are, now the chamber office is the ticket hub for lots of things in the community. We're selling lots of tickets. So I'm going to tell you what you can come down to the chamber this afternoon and weeks to come and buy tickets for. So Atmos Energy is doing a fundraiser for the Cancer Center of Kansas, and all the money that is raised for the Cancer Center of Kansas will actually stay in Independence through the fundraiser that I'll explain in a minute. And that goes to help people who are fighting the fight and who are, maybe they need to travel to take their treatments and they need food cards or they need gas cards, whatever kind of expenses that they're finding themselves in need of, and maybe some help in that area. The Cancer Center is always able to help them out, and the way that they're able to do that is from the generosity of the community. And so Atmos has put together a fun they're selling tickets for some tickets. So they're selling tickets for tickets. They're selling chances for 6 tickets to the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buffalo Bills on November 26th at noon in Kansas City. And you also get a parking pass. It's credible value. And if you want to have more information about how you can buy tickets for that, you can get a little flyer over on the table flyer, and you can check it out on Facebook as well. And they're selling tickets until the 16th. And again, we have those tickets at the Chamber office. We also have tickets at the Chamber office for a 1970 Chevy Stepside red truck that is actually parked outside with the hood up, so you can check it out when you leave and then come down to the Chamber office and buy some tickets. And those tickets, the money raised from those ticket sales will go to the Community Mission for Improved Housing, another worthwhile organization in our community. So be sure and do that. That truck will be, they will draw for that truck on the Christmas Day parade. So that's like November the 19th, I believe. So you've got some time to get your tickets, and you can pick those up as well. They're also selling tickets for the Celebrate Our Roots event that the Diversity Task Force is doing, and you're going to hear from two speakers this morning that will tell you more about that event, but the tickets are on sale at the Chamber office. And then you can also get your Astra Art Walk and Pub Crawl tickets from the Chamber as well, and that event is next weekend, like they said, like Jim said. So you can come down and just spend all kinds of money at the Chamber buying tickets for fun things. Something that's happening this weekend that you probably don't know about, you'll probably read about it in the newspaper, but the Model T Ford Club, they're called the Flatland Tees. They are from the Model T Ford Club of America, are traveling into Independence this Sunday, and they'll be out in the park around 11 to 12. So if you're interested in antique cars, you want to see about 20 Model T cars pull into town, go out to the park at the enclosed 4-H building. They're actually traveling around this holiday weekend. They're in Coffeyville, and then that morning of the Sunday morning, they're going to actually be in Independence. They're going to ride the train and the merry-go-round and check out the baseball history. They're having a catered lunch, and they're just going to enjoy their time in Independence, and then they're going to get back in their cars and travel on. So I thought that was going to be a fun event in the community. Another event that's happening, but it's actually a little bit in the future, but not that far, it'll be here before we know it, is our Veterans Day Parade on November the 11th. Now, I say that because originally I was just talking about the Veterans Day Parade, because it's the first one that we've really coordinated through the Chamber, but now it's the Veterans Day celebration, and we're going to have a full day of events from 8 o'clock in the morning well into 8 o'clock and past in the evening. And to hear all the details about that, you'll need to sign up to come to Celebrate Independence, which is next Thursday, and you'll need to make your reservation for that. It's a luncheon from 11:30 to 1, and we have an MC, happens to be in the room. Our very own Drew Demo from Demo Distributors will be our MC, and then we are going to be hearing from Astra, who has events going on right now, as well as next year with the Astra Arts Festival. We will be hearing all about Niwala, which will be here before we know it, and then we will be hearing all about the Veterans Day celebration, the entire day's event. So make sure you get your reservation in for that. Cutoff is Tuesday, so you'll need to get your reservations in. We would prefer you call us today if you need a reservation for that. So the Bulldogs play tonight. They're playing Caney, so make sure you go out to the game and check that out. Before the game, you can kind of get all hyped up. Community National Bank is doing a customer appreciation and pre-tailgate today from 11 to 1:30, so you can stop by there and get lunch, and I'm sure the band will be playing as they always do, and it'll be fun in preparation for what's sure to be a win for the Bulldogs tonight. Pirates play out of town, Fort Scott, right? So you can travel and check them out. I've already talked about Celebrate Independence. Today is the cutoff to get on the 100-mile highway sale map that we do. So this is the 10th annual Can-Okla 100-mile highway sale, and it's a huge deal. We give out probably 12 to 1,500 maps for that sale, and we probably have over 120 sales in Independence alone. And the city does a free permit, and so all you have to do is go to City Hall, you get your free permit, and then they give us those permits at the Chamber office, and Mandy puts together an amazing map for everybody who, when they come into town, they can navigate through the community and check out all the sales. We have a community site this year, so if you don't want to have your sale at your own house, but you have some things you want to get rid of, you can go out to Hugo's parking lot, which will be a great spot because you have good visibility right there on the highway. You have access to great food with Rick's Ribs and Barbecue out there, and it's just a great flat surface for you to be able to have your community site if you're wanting to have a sale out there as well. SEK Pride 2017 Project Q&A has lots of events planned for September 8th and 9th. That will be next weekend. They have a family movie night. They're having an event at the Eclectics Art Gallery, our second art gallery in downtown, and a community potluck. And they have a Facebook page, so you can check that out as well. The Yana Julian Fun Run is actually next weekend. You better get rested up this week because next weekend is full of information and activities. So Yana's Fun Run, the T-shirts have already been secured, but you can still join in and get registered. You can register that morning and be a part of a great celebration to honor her life and help raise money for cancer awareness. Also, the Optimist Club is having their annual pancake breakfast, all-you-can-eat pancakes at the Wesley Center, and all of the flyers for all of these are over on the table. Do not go to recycling tomorrow morning because it's the holiday weekend. Recycling is next week, so leave it in your trunk and, well, unless it's stinky, but don't do that. But if you already have it loaded up, leave it in there if it's okay for another 7 days, and we'll have it ready for you on the 9th. Also on the 9th, you're going to have to get a schedule and a calendar and get everything plugged in the right times. We're doing a Robert Wesley Park dedication at 10 o'clock at Penn and Walnut, and we will be rededicating that beautiful park that they've constructed in his honor, so be sure and get out for that. And then also, as Jim talked about, we have the Paint the Town, Astor Art Walk, and Pub Crawl, and you can get your pub passes at the Chamber like I mentioned. That's going to be fun. It's all-day event in the afternoon and into the evening. It'll be great fun. And then ICC plays Garden City here in Independence that evening as well, so you want to check that out. I have another visual aid up on the table, my fruit snacks. I hope they're healthy enough for you, but I wanted them to look cute, so I got that box instead of some of the other ones. But there is a program called Sirens and Snacks, and it's through RSVP, which is through Fork County, and the Independence Police Department, and they are working on kind of as a tie-in to 9/11 and the Day of Remembrance. They are working to collect snacks so that the police officers in our community can have these snacks in their vehicles, and when they come into contact with kids in need, and they can break open a box of fruit snacks or what have you, and help bring some comfort to kids. And also they will have those snacks in their vehicles when they come into contact with children that are needing some extra nutrition as well. So help them raise snacks, and I'm sure Kathy might touch on that, but there's a flyer over on the table for that as well, but they are collecting those snacks, so be sure and contribute to that. Senior Movie Day, for all of you who've been going to that, is Monkey Business. That's on the 12th. Check that out. And let's see. I want to do a little shout out for Four Paws. They have an annual meeting on the 18th at 6 o'clock at the tennis clubhouse. So if you are a Four Paws member or you want to become a Four Paws member, we can make that happen, and you can go to the annual meeting on the 18th. And we're going to be having lots of ribbon cuttings, but I want to make sure I mention one in particular. They will be having the ribbon cutting for Apricot Lane, and that's going to be on Thursday the 21st at 5:30 in the evening. So we're excited about the opening of that store in downtown Independence. Tons of other events that are going on in the community. The Walk to End Alzheimer's will be happening on the 23rd. There's still time to get teams together and walk for the cause. Let me see. I want to point out that we'll have movie night the last Saturday of this month. It will be The Secret Life of Pets. So you'll want to make sure that you mark your calendar. It's going to be early because the sun sets earlier. So the movie will be at 6:30. Yes, that evening, I believe. So is that right? Or is the movie at 7:30? 7:30. Okay. Movie's at 7:30, and pre-show starts at 6:30. And then lastly, the community cleanup in October. On October the 7th, that will be the community cleanup where you can bring not only your recyclables on that day, but you'll be able to bring all your tires, your building supplies, your couches, your refrigerators, all that junk that you have that's not recyclable. You'll be able to bring that on that day, and it'll be down at the sanitation yard. And then we will be doing the community cleanup in downtown Independence on the 14th in preparation for New Wallace. So with that is what's going on in Independence. And like I said, we'll be sending out the October calendar as well, and it's time to get ready for our speakers. Like I said, we have a good mix of lots of interesting information this morning. Our first speaker is the operations manager from Kansas Works. He's going to be talking about the apprenticeship program that they have within their organization. Would you please welcome Joe Sharp?
Might be better. Everyone can hear me now? Great. Thank you, Lisa. And of course, we want to thank the Chamber and the City of Independence for having us here today. Again, my name is Joe Sharp. I am the operations manager with Southeast Kansas Works. We are the public workforce system that serves 17 counties here in Southeast Kansas, and of course here locally in our office here at Independence on North Penn. So when we were invited today, we wanted to talk specifically about one of the programs that we are very excited about, and that is the Registered Apprenticeship Program. And of course, it's a beautiful Friday morning here, the day before a long weekend, and I thought to myself, is there anything more exciting than talking about a government program on a Friday morning? But the great thing about this is that there's lots of nuts and bolts to this program, and we'll talk about at the end kind of how you can find out more about those things. But I really wanted to talk about what registered apprenticeship means, both to workers, to employers, and to the communities where we all live. And that is that registered apprenticeship is ultimately about investment. It's about investment in those workers, investment in our local business, and making our communities stronger and better as we face this economic era that we enter now in 2017. So I do find it very fitting that I'm here on Friday morning here in Independence, Kansas, on the weekend of a holiday that celebrates American workers, their strength and their diversity, to talk about a program and to talk about apprenticeship that is something that has been around since the very beginning of our country. Apprenticeships from our founding fathers, our Revolutionary War heroes, Paul Revere, Ben Franklin. This was the way that you learned a trade. This is how you became an entrepreneur or developed industry, was by learning from someone how specifically to accomplish a task or a skill or a certain occupation. And as our country has developed and our country has grown, become an industrial leader across the world, apprenticeship has always been there. It's changed and developed, and we come to a point now where we see a lot of industry and a lot of development, and many of you may be familiar with apprenticeships from if you have or have worked with unions or with labor organizations. They have that same structure where you have an apprenticeship who becomes a journeyman, who becomes a master. But we're now in 2017, and we see the real need for making sure that our workers currently and our coming generation have more opportunities to find that niche and that area where they want to work and what they want to do. So let's talk a little bit about why registered apprenticeship is such an investment. Registered apprenticeship for a worker means that they are given the opportunity to see a clear path of advancement, wage increase, and skill increase while working for a company. It means learning on the job, working with their mentor in the company, doing their regular tasks, and also participating in sponsored training from the company. Could be through a community college or via the company themselves, where they gain actual skill set, credentials, and that industry knowledge alongside their work experience. For that worker who's in a registered apprenticeship program, they see that the employer is willing to invest in them. The employer is willing to take that risk to say, we want to increase your skill set, we want to make you a part of this company in the long term and in the future plans. From the employer perspective, registered apprenticeship offers the opportunity to address that one issue that, as a public workforce system, we hear quite a bit. how do I keep people? How do I find good, qualified people that will stay with my business, with my organization? And I will talk a little bit and stereotype my generation. If I hire these millennials, why will they stick around after 12 months after I paid all this money to train them and I give them a good wage and they just leave? And so registered apprenticeship has an opportunity here for an employer to say, we're going to invest in these workers, in these new hires or in the people that we already have that work in our company. We're going to set out a plan over 1, 2, or 3 years where we're going to increase their wage, we're going to provide training, and we're going to invest in them and make sure that we have an opportunity to make them a part of our company for the long term. So registered apprenticeship can address issues like retention and finding that qualified workforce and keeping that qualified workforce in the community. The entire point of the program is, if you have long-term trained employees that are working in your community for your employers, both of those will benefit the communities they live in a numerous amount of ways. Specifically, registered apprenticeship programs generally require that there is some type of technical education that goes along with their on-the-job training. And so our local training institutions, our community colleges, our programs in our schools in our area can help assist in these registered apprenticeship programs by providing that training. But more importantly, if you have registered apprenticeships and you have long-term employees who are earning more money and gaining more skills, they are contributing to the economic growth of our communities by living in our communities, by paying taxes, by using those by being and contributing economically to where they may be. So, from our perspective, as a public workforce system, we are very, I guess the right word to be on this would be, we are very encouraged by what we see here in Montgomery County and in our 17 counties that we oversee. We see a community and we see a business community that is looking to expand and looking to find good, qualified, and trained employees. Our position as the public workforce system is to try to help facilitate that, to try to connect those trained workers or those workers that need to be trained with our business community and identify by talking to our business leaders and our cities and our local government how we can identify and find out where there may be a gap or where things are missing. So as Southeast Kansas Works, we are very happy to be able to participate in this registered apprenticeship program. Again, as I mentioned, registered apprenticeship or apprenticeship has been around for a very long time. But we are reaching a point now where we see our younger generation, the generation that's now coming out of high school, the current generation that's in the workforce, as looking for other options outside of just, well, I'm going to go get a job or go to a 4-year degree. They are looking and seeking for opportunities where they can find a stable, long-term career in a field where they can have some advancement and be recognized and feel that they are being invested in by their employer. Registered apprenticeship to that point then has changed. It has become more flexible and has become more adaptable to where we are at in 2017. Specifically, registered apprenticeship, as we kind of think about it or receive, we're familiar with the unions or the labor unions or the labor organizations, is that registered apprenticeship is a manufacturing or blue-collar jobs. And the answer to that is not anymore. Registered apprenticeship oversees over 1,000 different types of positions and jobs. Everything from insurance claims adjusters to child care workers to industry, white-collar IT. It can be applied in a vast array of opportunities and jobs. It is not limited to one specific type of industry or a size of company. It is available to almost every type of organization that is willing to invest in their employees. So there's a lot of technical details that we're not going to get into because, again, it's Friday morning. But I do want to point out and kind of make a recognition here of some of the staff that we have in our area that can assist with this. So we have Chastity Troxel. Chastity, wave your hand. There you go. Chastity works with the state of Kansas in the Registered Apprenticeship Program. We have Lacey Bohr, who works in our Independence office, Melissa Johnson, and Brandy Benedict out of our Independence office as well. If you want information about how you can participate in a Registered Apprenticeship Program and to find out how if your company or if your organization may qualify, or if you know someone that's looking for a job or looking for a career and wants to find out how they can become a registered apprentice, these are the people to talk to. We can come to your company or organization and talk one-on-one, and we can break out all the fun paperwork and technical details that we have for it. I will tell you this. There is a renewed push for registered apprenticeship in our country, and not just in the state of Kansas, but in our entire country. And as part of that, we are here to help facilitate, get that kickstart, get that jump start, so that companies can participate in a registered apprenticeship program. To that end, both Chastity and our staff here in the Independence office can walk you through the benefits of registered apprenticeship, the process, and also how we can financially assist companies with the cost of training those apprentices on the job. We can provide up to $3,000 in assistance for a company to offset the cost of that technical education or training they may provide an apprentice. And this is something that is here to, again, jumpstart that process, to get companies invested in this registered apprenticeship program and find out is it and does it fit for your organization. So again, I would highly encourage you, talk to Chastity, talk to Melissa, talk to Lacey. They are the ones in the know. I'm just the pretty face they run up here on a morning to talk about it. But they are the ones that can get you set up. They're the ones that have the information on it. And they're the ones that can really get you on board and more information about the Registered Apprenticeship Program. Again, I want to thank Lisa and the Chamber, and we'll certainly be available for questions after all the speakers.
Thank you, Joe. And I do have to give a little shout out to, while I'm adjusting this back down, we have diverse speakers, but we have diverse heights here. But I've worked personally with Kansas Works through the Chamber of Commerce. They assisted us when we were hiring our tourism coordinator. We worked with Brandy. She did a great job. And they're very involved in the community. They have lots of good programs. I learned about the apprenticeship program from a meeting that actually I went to, and it was very interesting because we had Textron Aviation in the room, we had Standard, we had Hackney, we had Cobalt, and I think it was Cobalt that really spoke highly of the fact they had already used, I think, the program and how it benefited their organization. So I think it's great that we have you in our community, and your staff is well involved, and we appreciate all that you guys do at Kansas Works, so thank you very much. All right, I think I got this adjusted because our next little speaker is not quite as tall. So we have a program under the Chamber of Commerce. It's called the Diversity Task Force. You've seen them in action throughout the community. They're doing lots and lots of great things. They meet in the Chamber office, and when they do, they fill up the community room. It overflows in there. They have so many people that want to be a part of this organization. So this morning, would you please welcome the chair of this year's group, the Diversity Task Force, Kathy Shepard.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me, Lisa. We're really excited to be here today, and Michelle Anderson is here with me, too, from Diversity Task Force. But real quick, before I start into that part of it, Lisa mentioned our Sirens and Snacks program that we're doing through RSVP 4 County. And I just wanted to tell you the collection spot here in Independence is Community National Bank, if you'd like to donate to that. We just thought it would be a great thing in honor and remembrance of 9/11 to do a project for our local law enforcement and first responders. We know they are out there on the streets and encounter kids all the time who are hungry, and we thought this would be a way that they have something that they can give so they're not taking out of their pocket to do that. And also it helps build that bridge between our law enforcement and first responders and the community. So that's all about that. And now stepping into Diversity Task Force, I want to tell you about an event we have coming up that we're really excited about. We were wanting to do a fundraiser here in town to help provide some anti-racism training that we're going to do in the spring of 2018. We had one of our members who had come up with this idea, and I think it's awesome. We're calling it Celebrate Our Roots, and the reason it's called that is because we are going to have a sampler festival right here in the Civic Center, and you can come in, and we are going to have African American food, Cajun food, German food, Hispanic Latino food, Native American food, and some pioneer food. So all the funds that we raise from having this event are going to help pay for that, and we also receive some community chest funds that are going to help us pay for that. And the tickets are on sale at the chamber, so you can pick them up there or from any of our members. And the tickets are $10 per person, or for a family, it's $30, and that's for 3 children, 12 and under. And then if you need additional tickets for a family, they're only $5 a piece for additional kids. So it's going to be a fun evening. We have people who are working on the foods from these different cultures, and they're excited about making them. They're donating their time and a lot of their food to do this. We think everybody will really enjoy it. We're going to have music from each of the different groups also that will be playing throughout the evening. And one of the things that we wanted to do is to stress that the history of these foods and the importance to that culture, and so why this food was selected. So there will also be a little bit of education along with that. But we think it's going to be a really fun evening, and we're really looking forward to that. And have I missed anything, Michelle? Okay, and that's from 5 to 8 on September 30th. And so come see us for Celebrate Our Roots. It's going to be a fun evening. You can come and eat and then go to the downtown movie and just make a night of it. And I have a few minutes left, and Michelle Anderson is here with me, and she is part of the task force too. And I have a little bit of extra time, so I would love for her to tell you a little bit about the history. But before I do that, I wanted to also talk about, some of you may have seen on Facebook that we did a candlelight vigil after Charlottesville, Virginia. And that came about really quickly. We met on Monday we're meeting every couple weeks and planning for our Celebrate Our Roots evening. And so as we were talking, we decided that we needed to have some response to that. So in a matter of just a couple days, our committee put that together. A lot of people didn't know about it. I think it was mainly just on Facebook. But we had a very nice turnout. We were glad that Fred Meyer could come and speak and represent the city. And there were lots of different people there, lots of new faces, people who didn't even know about our diversity task force. So that was a really nice evening to remember those who lost their lives in Charlottesville, and just to reach out to our neighbors and realize that although we all may be different, we all can get along and make our community better by coming together that way. So I have just a couple minutes, and so Michelle, you want to tell them a little bit about where diversity task forces come from?
Okay, task force has been around since about 2008. It started through Leadership Independence. Our mission is to raise awareness of the diversity and what it means. We want acceptance, respect, and understanding of each individual's uniqueness. We're speaking about all diversity, which includes race, gender, age, sexual orientation, or physical disability. We strive to move beyond the simple tolerance, but to embrace each person's diversity. So within the past 8 years, we've done we've had various opportunities to bring awareness to our community. As Kathy said, we had the candlelight vigil most recently. Had a great turnout for that, and we're always looking for ways to bring awareness to our community so we can move independence to the forefront on issues of diversity and welcoming all people to our community. Something that's always important to me is that everyone that comes to Independence is aware of the diversity and they always feel welcomed. So we're always looking for ways to discuss that in a safe and positive environment. I think that's it. We look forward to having everyone come out that's able to our food festival. It should be really good. We've got lots of different types of food. People are really excited about it. I want to thank Lisa and the Chamber for letting us be here. And
Thank you. Good job, ladies. So I have to just touch on the fact that you heard, I think, Michelle say that the Diversity Task Force came from a Leadership Independence project. So Leadership Independence is in full force right now. We've selected our class for this year. They are 20 strong, and they will be meeting in the next couple of weeks. And so it's exciting to see what class project that they will take on. But I think it's really cool that the Diversity Task Force is a class project, and it's still going strong today, and probably even stronger than it was when it started, and they're doing amazing things. They do have a Facebook page, so be sure and check that out, so then you will see when things happen, like Kathy said, and they have to act on them really quickly. It's not always easy getting that information out. So always get involved in social media and check out their Facebook page. And then I told Kathy I didn't want her to let the cat out of the bag too much because I wanted them to come back and speak. But they are raising those funds for an anti-racism workshop this spring. And she will be coming back and talking about that later on in the upcoming months. But that's the reason why they're raising these funds, is to be able to bring that opportunity to our community. So get out and support the Diversity Task Force. And thank you, ladies, for presenting. We have another great lady who's going to speak to you today. You know, our county health statistics are not the best if you've listened or read anything about that. But what you may not know is that the county has a wellness coalition. And I wanted to invite Marcy to come and speak to us today because the only way we're going to make those better is to take action, and we can't just sit back and have meetings about it and talk about it, but we have to act on it. And there's a group that is formulated, and like I said, it's the Montgomery County Wellness Coalition that is working to make Montgomery County a healthier place to live and work. And so with that, would you please welcome Marcy Roberts, the Wellness Coalition Coordinator.
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you for having me here today. As Lisa said, the Wellness Coalition started meeting probably this January in an effort to address the chronic health issues in our county. Our mission is to improve the health of all Montgomery County citizens, and by promoting programs, resources, and policies that will encourage healthy lifestyles. Fortunately, we applied for and received, Montgomery County Health Department applied for and received a chronic disease risk and reduction planning grant from the Kansas Department of Health and Environment. And the purpose of the funding is to assist the coalition in developing leaders to begin to make plans to work forward and address the chronic issues that we do have here in the county. And some of those issues are tobacco use, physical inactivity, poor nutrition, and chronic disease self-management. One of the nationwide statistics that stands out is called 3-4-80, and that is there are 3 risk factors, which are tobacco use, physical inactivity, and poor nutrition, that contribute to 4 major chronic diseases. And those are heart disease, type 2 diabetes, lung disease, and some cancers. These statistics contribute to 80% of the deaths in the U.S. 5 years ago, that number was 50% of deaths, and it's now up to 80%. These are all risk factors that can be controlled. These are things that we must look at and address. So what are some of the problems in Montgomery County? According to the countyhealthrankings.org, Montgomery County is ranked 93rd out of 102 counties that are ranked in health outcomes, which is the length of life and the quality of life. Length of life is 70 years of age is the number they use, and it's saying that the majority of our constituents are dying before the age of 70. And then the quality of life refers to how many well days a person has, whether that be mental health or physical health, on a daily basis. Montgomery County is ranked 101 out of 102 in health factors. This measures health behaviors such as smoking, obesity, access to health care, and there are some socioeconomic factors as well, such as single-parent households, graduation rates, unemployment, and violent crime. And I don't know about you all, but this was surprising for me to hear these statistics. I knew that we had some health issues in our county, and I think I first became aware of it when Lisa and I attended a Work Well program in Wichita 5 years ago, and they handed us all out these statistics, and we were all from different counties, and we all had our own specific numbers to look at, and I was just shocked. I couldn't believe it. I was kind of embarrassed about it. I was like, to me, this is a call to action. This is something that we need to do as a community and as a county to, as Lisa said, work together and to move forward, because I'm proud of our county and I'm proud of where we come from, and I know that we can do better than this. So with that, I'm so happy to report that we do have this planning grant, and we plan to reach out to various communities, of course, Independence, Coffeyville, Cherryville, and Caney, and any other towns within the county. And we need people from education. We need people from the business sector, churches, hospitals, community organizations, and just everyday Montgomery County citizens. We need everyone's input and feedback on how we should move forward. Fortunately, through the grant, we're able to work with the Community Health Initiative group out of Wichita State University, and they will help us move forward and facilitate some community meetings in some of the different towns. So please be looking for that information in your newspapers. I also have brought a sheet of paper if you would like to sign up. Put your email down so that we can add you to our list and keep you informed of what we're doing. And as I said, I am the coordinator, and I'd be happy to visit with you about anything further. And we hope to have you at some of our meetings and to get involved. So thank you very much.
Thank you. So, yep, I've known Marcy for a lot of years, and she lives in Coffeyville, and we're good friends, and so it's fun to work with her. But I think it's real important that we come together as a county. So if you are, I'm just going to reiterate what she said. If you are interested in being a part of this, be sure and visit with her after the event, or go over to the table, and we've put a pen over there and a sign-up sheet, and sign your name up, and then she'll reach out to you. So we are ready for our final speaker, and we're ahead of schedule. Before I started, Dan accused me of not giving him his full time. He's not listening to me. And so we are right on schedule today. So you're going to have, he has lots of time to share all the exciting news and things that are happening out at Independence Community College. So with that, would you please welcome the president, Dan Barwick.
doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to me. Oh, boy. Totally unfair. Somehow I always end up being the speaker that stands between you and the exit. So I don't know how this happens. I'm fortunate enough to be able to speak at First Friday at least once a year. It's always a great experience. I do want to take a moment to recognize Jim Hayward, our sponsor. These events, of course, can only happen when we have sponsors. They can only happen when people are willing to step up and help us with this. As a member of the Chamber of Commerce Board, I'm grateful to you for your sponsorship, as I'm grateful to all of the people who are kind enough to help us put on these events. So thank you. If you attend First Friday regularly, you know that the college frequently has representatives that come here and tell you about different things at the college. So my challenge is always to avoid repetition. What I'm going to do is just sort of give you kind of a general overview of some of the things that I think are kind of that I think as the president are kind of neat that are happening at the college, and give you a sort of a perspective on them that may be a little bit different than maybe what you normally hear. By the way, it occurs to me that some people in the room don't know who I am. If you don't know me, you're welcome to get to know me. There's my cell phone number. You're welcome to use it. You don't have to feel shy. Trust me, other people aren't shy about using it. Public servants have to take very seriously that they're available. The college is a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week operation. So that I understand fully that just like Jerry back there, his job never really stops. Neither does mine, and I'm happy to help you if there's a problem that I can address for you. So you're welcome to give me a holler. We are, in case you don't know this, we're certainly the best, one of the best, if not the best community college in Kansas. It made all the more remarkable by the fact that we are the smallest. I think that this ICC should be a tremendous point of pride for every one of you because of what we've managed to accomplish out at the college. You don't have to just take my word for it. There are many metrics that we could use to show you. This is one that I find particularly interesting. In 2017, KU's study found that of all the community colleges in Kansas, ICC students were the most successful academically when they transferred on to four-year schools. In other words, if you're looking for academic preparation, our faculty, our staff are basically creating an experience that allow our students to go on and be more successful academically than any other community college in Kansas. In 2016, a similar type of metric. Basically, we were ranked in the top 1% of community colleges in the U.S. for what's called student educational goal attainment. In other words, the student has identified an educational goal for themselves, and a study basically looks at whether or not they achieve that goal. In 2015, we were ranked the top 5 most affordable community colleges in the U.S. I am sorry to tell you that I doubt we will ever make that list again. I'm not sure any college in Kansas will ever make that list again. If you follow the national news, you know that more and more states are moving to a free community college model, which will dramatically affect the results of that kind of study. In 2013, we were ranked in the top 50 best community colleges in the United States, which is not too shabby, number 32 to be precise. And then finally, we are a military-friendly school. This is a designation achieved by only a small percentage of community colleges in America. It means that we provide special programs both to assist people with their needs when they're entering the college and then when they are there at the college, both for active duty personnel and for people who are veterans. I did want to mention, by the way, since people who normally present about the college up here are probably not going to give you this kind of stuff, but I want to remind you of the kind of economic engine that the college is for its taxing district. This analysis is not an analysis that we do. It's done by a third-party organization. The most recent one that we had done found that the total effect there at the bottom, you'll see, is about $31.7 million of economic activity. That's annually. Remember that we're taxing about $6 million. for a local taxation of $6 million. The total effect of $31 million is not too shabby. I will talk about a couple things going on at the college. I don't know how well you can see this slide, but this is probably one of the, I think, a pivotal event that will occur at the college. When I say pivotal, I mean there's really things that happen very, very occasionally at any institution that literally propel it in new directions, and this is one of them. This is John Heckman's first whack at the design for the expansion of our Fab Lab. I think many of you know this. For those of you who don't know this, we've been given a grant by the federal government, by the EDA, for a $700,000 construction project on our campus. This is the first new academic space in almost 2 decades at the college. I'm not sure how you could live in Independence and not know about the Fab Lab, so I won't go into that in detail. But ultimately, the space they're using now, despite the fact that you see them in the paper constantly, despite the fact that you may have attended programs there, despite the fact that your children may have attended programs there, they are completely, totally, utterly out of space. And so the idea is to double the size of the entire building that they're in and bring a whole new range of services. What is interesting to me, about me as a president, is that the local investment in this, the local tax money investment in this, is about $250,000. The construction project itself is about $700,000. The total cost of the building, including additional equipment that's not part of the grant that will go into it, I would estimate would be about $800,000. So for those of you who are used to thinking about public education as just something where money goes into it but no money comes out, this was really a tremendously visionary project for the Board of Trustees, in which they essentially invested money and produced about a 300% return on investment in a single year. And that doesn't even include the ongoing benefits that building will provide to the community for years to come. It's really an incredible, amazing piece of teamwork from the people at the college, led by, and I want to give credit where credit is due, of course, most of you know Jim Carell. This was something that he was absolutely committed to. Everybody chips in and helps, but you always need that front guy who is pushing it, and he was that guy. The community owes him a tremendous debt for ultimately developing the relationships that secured the funds for this building. I do get questions about this just in the last week, so I wanted to mention it because as the president of the college, I do have some perspective on this that I'd like to share with you. So if you read the paper or you use social media, you're aware that ICC has been signing an increasing number of agreements with other schools. We sign what are called articulation agreements with other schools. For those of you who don't know, articulation agreements are really just agreements that guarantee that when the student leaves ICC, whatever they took at ICC transfers seamlessly to the new school. And the new school that they're going to, in this case PSU, cannot say, well, we know you took chemistry, but we want you to retake it here, or something like that. It doesn't work that way. You know that when you transfer there, you know you're a junior, you know that there's nothing you have to retake, you know that all the courses we took, that PSU has agreed that they are completely, utterly equivalent to the courses at PSU. And so there's complete predictability from the perspective of the student, both in terms of how long it will take them to complete their education, and of course in terms of cost, because that's very important to people. However, what's not so well known about these agreements is that they save all of us tremendous amounts of money. How is that so? Well, if you don't have an agreement in place, and a student has to retake 1, 2, or 3 courses when they get to their next college, and it's a public college, that means that they took the course at a public college, in this case ICC, which means, by the way, by definition, if it's a public college, the majority of the cost of that student's education was not paid for by the student. It was paid for by taxpayers, either at the local or the state level. And so what happens is that you paid for that course the first time, and oh, guess what? If they go on to PSU, you paid for it a second time, because once again at PSU, by definition, the taxpayer pays for the majority of that. So the student has to take the course twice, and guess who had to pay for it twice? All of us. And when you multiply that over a dozen, 2 dozen, 100, 1,000 students across the state, you end up saving the taxpayers an enormous amounts of money. Ultimately, we hope to save the taxpayers millions by doing this. We will roll out agreements like this for a multitude of schools in Kansas and in other states over the next several years. Those agreements will become more and more sweeping. We will offer ultimately dual enrollment and so forth, so that when someone starts at ICC, they are already enrolled in the next school that they want to go to. But ultimately, the idea is to create a completely seamless transition in which there are no frictional costs. There's no money, taxpayer money wasted on things where we could have just worked together and created real value. Another goal that we have this year is total transparency at the college. The college is already quite a transparent organization, but I did want to mention, just in case you are interested in, for example, you have, say, problems getting to sleep, and you're interested in reading things like strategic plans, I wanted to let you know that basically all of the important documents that guide the college are available on the college website, from the strategic plan to the full budget, not just a summary. I told you it's an excellent sleep aid. All of our board records from, of course, the board packets themselves, all of the supplementary material, all of the minutes and so forth are all available. The faculty contract that we have, all of our student satisfaction records will ultimately be placed on our website. And the ultimate goal there is basically to have no open records requests at all, where, of course, we're going to get requests for things that are not open records eligible. So if you wrote to the college and you wanted to see, an employee's personnel evaluation, yes, that's exempt under the law, and that's not something we're going to provide. But unless it's something that's exempt, the idea is that every single request we get, we should just be able to say in a nice way, oh, you probably didn't know this, but actually that record's already available to you. Here's the link. Finally, I did want to talk to you about Last Chance U. I don't know how many of you have already appeared on camera. I don't know how many of you have already been part of this. I'm not sure if there's anybody here who isn't aware that right now, Independence, the community, and the college are the subject of a documentary series from Netflix called Last Chance U. People ask me sort of, what's that like? And it is truly bizarre. It's totally surreal. I can't tell you what it's like. You're sitting there in your office. So, obviously, I have lots of meetings. Unfortunately, my job life is basically just meeting after meeting after meeting, it feels like. And you sit there and you discuss what are totally mundane matters with people that you meet with all the time. I sit there with the athletic director, the football coach, and we're talking about ordinary stuff. Well, let me tell you, that meeting is completely transformed when, besides the three of you in the room, there are 8 other total strangers in the room. These total strangers have these cameras, and they don't look anything like that camera. Instead, the camera takes up as much space as another person does. And it's not just cameras, because there are these giant boom mics with a microphone on the end that's the size of a basketball. And it's hanging, somehow these guys are really good at it. They hang it so that it's right over your head, right here, just close enough to completely distract you from what you're saying, but not close enough so that it's somehow in the frame. And it's actually, these boom guys are very good at what they do. And it's a totally surreal experience, because you do find yourself censoring what you say. I joke a lot, and every joke you think, wait, is that appropriate for a worldwide audience? And sometimes the answer is obviously no. So, you don't say it, but this frustrates the filmmakers tremendously, because this is a documentary and they really don't want you to alter, anything that you do. They want you to be totally natural. I was once in my office before the series began filming, and I was sitting in my office with the director, and I just, we're talking about something, I don't know what, but I suddenly said to him, I said, oh gosh, if you guys are going to film in there, I should clean my desk. And he immediately says, oh no, don't do that. Because they want it to be as authentic as it can possibly be. And then they come in with, 7 cameras into your office, and they think somehow it's going to be authentic. But now, why is this show important? Well, most people probably do not know that the college derives very little benefit from doing this. This is not a financial jackpot, even though we do receive some very considerable athletic sponsorships from national companies as a result, because, of course, they just want to get on TV. And we may see in the short term some slightly increased athletic recruitment for it or something like that. But the real benefit, the only thing that really ever appealed to me about it was that if I could not think of any other way to bring the beauty, the magic, the friendliness, the special people of the city of Independence to a worldwide audience of what is estimated between 10 and 20 million people. Can you think of anything? Because I can't. This was it. When we had this opportunity, we went after it very hard, from our athletic department to our trustees. Everybody recognized that there was potential value there. And we all knew that Independence is a beautiful, amazing place. And we wanted to show that to the world. I mean, I think that, I hope you were listening when Lisa at the beginning showed you the back of that page where those community events are listed there. I'm not from Independence, and I don't know how long it takes till you feel like, okay, I'm from Independence. I don't know how long that takes. I'm not there yet. This is my 7th year here. But I can tell you, if you don't know, that a community of 8,500, 9,000 people does not normally have a list of events that fills an entire page like that for a single month. This is a very strange, good place. And I invite you, talk to somebody else who lives in a community the same size of Independence and ask them what goes on in their communities. When we moved here from New York, it only took about 4 or 5 months before both my daughters confessed that there was a lot more to do here than there ever was for them to do in New York. We chose this community because it showed tremendous promise to us, and in fact, it has absolutely exceeded our wildest expectations. It is a wonderful, beautiful place to live, filled with people that I love dearly. And when Netflix came and there was this opportunity to show this community to a worldwide audience, I thought, this is a gift that doesn't come along very often. I think there's very low risk for the community itself because this community shows, I think, beautifully. Walk around in our park and think to yourself, how many other communities of our size have a park like we have? The answer is none. They don't. So, at any rate, I'll stop there. I actually like to end with this slide because I don't know who took this picture. It might have been my wife, might have been somebody else at the college. But, that every single thing you see in that photo is actually part of our main campus. And remember, we have a whole separate campus, the ICC West campus, out near Walmart there. This is on our main campus. Schools would kill for what you see in this photo. The fact is if you go to our closest community college neighbor to the south, who shall remain unnamed, you will not see anything that looks like that. We have room to do what we want, whether it's from recreation to construction, from facilities to activities, indoor, outdoors. We have options at ICC that most colleges do not have. And I want to encourage you, if you have not been out to our main campus, I'm always happy to show people around. Come out. It's a very cool place. I know that it's not on the way to anywhere, so if you didn't have a reason to go out there, you might not have. at any rate, I'll stop talking there. I know there'll be opportunity for questions, but once again, I want to appreciate being invited to talk here. I think these are marvelous events that provide great information of what's going on in our vibrant community. I hope you have a lovely day and a lovely weekend. Anyone who wants to drive up to Fort Scott on Saturday, I'll be going. You're welcome to join me in my car. See ya.
Thank you. So let me check our time. We have time to do some shout outs and some questions. Let's take some questions first, and we'll get those taken care of. Do any of you have any questions for any of our speakers? Yes, Ray.
What is the Netflix on? Is it already started?
No, so the way it works is this is a series-long documentary. Oh, sorry. This is a series-long documentary. So right now they are filming here in Independence season 3. If you go onto Netflix, you can see season 2, which was filmed last fall, and of course season 1, which was filmed the fall before. So they're always basically a year behind. What they're filming now, you won't see for a year, which can be a good thing because some of the statute of limitations will run out, and so maybe no one will blame us too badly for what happens. But so you will not get to see the results of this for a year. Remember, a documentary works by generating hundreds, thousands of hours of footage, which then have to be distilled down into very focused episodes. It's a long-term endeavor.
Anybody else have any questions?
Lisa, this is a comment. Speaking of Netflix, they were just walking by with their cameras, and I invited them to come here, but they were headed somewhere else. I said, if you really want to see Independence, come on into First Friday, but they were headed downtown somewhere. But they just walked past about 7:30.
All right. Let's go downtown and see where they are.
I think
Probably Danny Mays, yeah. Anybody have any 1-minute shout-outs you want to do? If you do, I need you to come up here and use the microphone so we can get it on camera. So you guys can, anybody that wants to do a little shout-out, go ahead and come on up. Carolyn, you can come up. We'll pass the microphone. Just stand right there where he can catch you.
Gary, thank you. I just want to give a shout out to the town of Independence for supporting the farmers market. We just celebrated our 10th year having the farmers market downtown. It was a Leadership Independence project, and I was not involved in the beginning of it, but I took it over a few years ago, and the Chamber of Commerce has given wonderful support. Main Street, Tabitha, thank you for doing the Facebook page. Oh my gosh, I never could get that right. Anyway, and also Terry Scott with the Independence Pharmacy was there every Saturday morning with the place open so the vendors could have a bathroom, which is very important because I don't think we could have had the farmers market without that support. City of Independence setting up the barricades every Saturday morning, and G&W, I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but they support local vendors. So to all the vendors and the customers, thank you. This was the best market we've ever had, and we had a new project. Oh, gosh, I almost forgot. Reporter, the Independence Reporter, 3 front page, full page feature articles on farmers market, one of which was the Young Entrepreneurs Day, which the kids in Independence are participating now. Many of them are doing things like the Walk for Alzheimer's and other projects. They're coming to farmers market, selling their products, and donating. It was started to help downtown Independence originally, so I think we've achieved that goal. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. We actually owe you a big round of applause for all the work that you've done, Carolyn. We have a great market because of your leadership. Barb, come on up. 10 years, you say. Is that right? That's amazing.
And I would just like to tell everybody we're planning for Zulaween again. It'll be our 4th Zulaween. For anybody that's not aware of what Zulaween is, it's trick-or-treating at the zoo. We sent out sponsor letters, but if somebody didn't get a letter and wants to come sponsor, we'll be happy to have you. A sponsor sets up a table at Zulaween. They can either bring their own candy or toys to hand out, up to about 1,000 per table, or you can choose that we'll buy the candy and you just distribute it, and that we have you give us $100 to buy the candy. It's a fun event. We have had about 1,500 kids come through. We have games, Halloween themed games. We have the drama club come from the high school come out, and they dress up as zombies and whatever and have a great time entertaining the kids. So put on your calendar. It's October 14th. That's a Saturday night between 5 and 7. If you're interested in being a sponsor, just give me a call. Come out to the park. We'll be happy to get you signed up. Thanks.
Thank you. That's a great event, too. Hello?
Thank you. Sorry, this is going to be a small commercial, but you did mention our customer appreciation event today.
Go ahead.
So I'm buying lunch. Everybody come on down. We will have the high school band there starting at 11:30 today, so come listen to them. But the other thing, it is September 1st, so I can now tell you that Community National Bank and Trust is celebrating their 30th anniversary this year. We will be 30. And our building in downtown Independence is 100 years old on September 17th. So if you come to if you're a chamber member and you come to business after hours at our event in September, I believe we're going to have enough staff that we can do tours, because I've had several people ask me, I want to see your basement. We have an old fallout shelter down there. There's an old barber shop down there. It's really cool, and you've got to see it. So, and there will be cake. So come join us.
Thank you. That's where I plan to be at noon today. There you go.
Hello, I'm Eric Gant with Atmos Energy, and I just want to do a shout out for the fundraiser for the Chiefs tickets we're doing. Just a little more information. Those Chiefs tickets, they're not lower level or upper level. They're club level tickets, so they're in that private middle level where you're sitting right in front of the suites. You have to have a special ticket to get up there, so the concession lines, bathroom lines are shorter. It comes with a parking pass, and Atmos Energy donated those tickets, so 100% of the donation you give goes to the Cancer Center for Kansas, and it just so happens you get a chance to go watch the Chiefs Thanksgiving weekend. So thank you.
Thank you. I got my tickets. Gary?
Thanks, Lisa. I have a couple real quick ones. The first would be on September 12th, 5 o'clock. It's Chambers After Hours. That's Community Chess Kickoff. I'd like to invite you all to be there. Please come. Bring your checkbook. As thank you, Kathy, for pointing out, we do fund a lot of different things here in town, so we really appreciate you all coming out for that. If you can't come, just send me your checkbook. I'll take care of it for you. The next thing I would like to put a shout out for is the Southeast Kids Have Talent. If your business does not have a flyer in its window, please see me. I'd love to have this flyer in your window. I'd also love for you guys to send us all the kids. I know there's tons of kids here that have talent. Please send them our way. We'd love to showcase their talent that day. It's not going to be till 7 o'clock like it says on there. I am long-winded. I'm not that long-winded, though. So a couple of hours, kids get to get up and show their wares, and then we'll give out the prizes. But really, it's more about showing the kids and their talent. So please send the kids to us. Under 18 would be great. Then also, please, all of you join us for a great day. We'll have food there. Be a nice afternoon. So please join us for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Good morning. I just want to remind or let everybody know that on September 29th, that's Friday, the Health on Purpose HOP Wellness Fair will be here at the Civic Center from 7 to 12:30. You can get blood work done, and there'll be all kinds of health boosts. So we want to encourage you to come out and see what's going on, learn about what resources are available for you in your community on health.
Thank you. Always lots going on. All right, well, with that, I want to thank Jim and Jim Hayward Fine Art for being our sponsor again. Thank you. Tell Rhonda we missed her this morning. And I want you all to have a safe and happy holiday weekend, and we will see you again right here, same place, same time on October the 7th. Have a great holiday weekend. Thank you.